Sorry if I sneeze too much. I'm sick. Alright, so my first one is refuting Selma's main claim that over the last 25 years, energy drinks have experienced considerable growth in popularity in the light of success. They have received security from the FDA and unfettered publicity. Her claim is that many beneficial effects for their consumer because of the multiple health benefits they provide. The statement made against energy drinks consumption is incorrect, and energy drinks are the forefront of responsible labeling. My reputation for that is energy drinks do more harm than anything else, and the FDA are only looking out for the consumer because they know the health problems that the energy drinks can produce from a consumer. Her first claim is that energy drinks are effective in their task to benefit their consumer. In her first piece of evidence, she says, manufacturers of these products claim to increase energy and produce and burn fat. You fail to show any manufacturer saying that they do any of these things, and just because a manufacturer says this, they'll really say anything for you to buy energy drinks. I mean, it's basically caffeine in a bottle. And later you show evidence from UC Davis that energy drinks contain guarana, which can link to increased energy, and they also contain high levels of taurine, which is naturally found in the body. Dr. Edward F. from American Clinical Board of Nutrition said that this about high levels of taurine. The daily serving of taurine, which is from 100 to 500 milligrams a day, just produced from the natural body, you can find that in a common Red Bull or Monster or anything like that for 1,000 milligrams of synthetic produced taurine. This causes for you to receive artificial amounts of taurine in your body and make people crash after the boost of energy and may cause health problems and making you go for that second can of Red Bull or Monster. So although you receive a boost of energy, the crash you have, the high dosage of taurine in your body, has much worse effect like headaches and unnatural amount of heartbeats per minute. Her second claim is that the counter arguments made against the consumption of energy drinks are faulty and untrue. In your piece of evidence, you say energy drinks are a niche product and don't account for a sufficient percentage of the U.S. non-alcoholic beverage standing at under 2%. In your own evidence later on, it says you failed to mention that in the studies in adults and adolescents have shown high rates of endorsement and inability to quit, use despite and withdraw a population-based survey showed under that 30% of the sample 162 caffeine users fulfilled diagnostics criteria for the substance dependence which applied for caffeine. Also, later in your evidence, you failed to mention from the Medical Journal of Australia, adolescents are particularly attracted to energy drinks because effective product marketing, her influence, and you said on the first one that they're meant for athletes and adults. But in your later claims, it says that it's marketed toward adolescents because of the way they advertise it, which is bad for kids. So in the third one, your third claim, you say labels of energy drinks are the forefront of caffeine-related information like no other caffeine-containing beverage. Energy drinks inform consumers on their labels about important aspects. On the first one, the three aspects you put are the facts that beverages contain caffeine. Yes, they do put that they contain caffeine, and second, you say that the total amount of caffeine present in the product. And third, you say the product has an advisory statement that should be consumed and should not be consumed by children or pregnant or breastfeeding women. On your first point, it is true that they do contain that all energy drinks do contain caffeine. Although on your second one, how much caffeine you're actually getting is false, because like you said on the first one, from the UC Davis energy drinks contain guarana and taurine. So back to the third point, guarana and later later in your evidence from the health effects and energy drinks from Sarah M. Shep, each gram of guarana contains 40 to 80 milligrams of caffeine and has potentially longer half-life because of interactions with other compounds. Manufacturers are now required to list this caffeine content from the ingredients, thus the actual caffeine dose in a single serving may exceed that which is listed. So no, the consumer does not know how much caffeine they are actually taking in a bottle of energy drink because of the guarana and the taurine you are getting, and since they do not have to put this in the actual labeling of the nutrition facts, you don't actually know how much caffeine you're getting in an energy drink. And so finally, because of all this information and your points were flawed because you failed to mention from your first evidence and your second evidence that later on you like argue yourself because you're using evidence that actually goes against energy drinks, but you're only using like 2 to 3 sentences that say that it's actually good for you because of the boosted energy and you can actually stay awake longer and the caffeine levels. So in all, no, energy drinks are actually bad for you, and the consumer should actually look out for nutrition facts on energy drinks.
All right, Giovanni, I can see that you're trying to structure the argument and follow the advocate's claim, but the way you've summarized the arguments at the beginning was not very clear. As you got to the individual points, I thought it was a little bit clearer, so that helps a bit. The question about its effectiveness, I think you've got a good argument here. You just make the counterclaim that says that the effectiveness ignores the negative consequences of using it, and that those things, for instance, produce a crash, which is the exact opposite outcome that people want from consuming the energy products. You spend a lot of time talking about some other issues there that I don't think get you much. That's your main argument on that particular point. On the argument about the information concerning the amount of who the material is being sold to, and is it working the way it's supposed to, you kind of get involved in this argument about it being a niche product and endorsements and inability to quit. I think the argument here is pretty straightforward. Your counterclaim is basically that these energy drinks create dependence. They encourage people to consume caffeine at levels that are higher than they want, and the outcome is that people become dependent on these things because it's marketed to them and because they get addicted to that kind of thing. You kind of go in circles in describing what your point is. That's the essence of your point, and I think that you just need to simplify those particular claims. The third point is the clearest one, and that is that we can't really know the amount of caffeine in the drinks so it can't be giving us the accurate information because of the inclusion of guarana and taurin, which when combined with caffeine doubles the creates a longer half-life or increases the amount of caffeine in the foods. I thought that you did a pretty good job on that, and so that's antithetical to the argument that the advocate's presenting about it being so much clearer. You make a claim at the end about negative effects. I think you need to have some better information on that particular point. All right, thank you.